Well, hello enemies and book lovers, my name is Ash and welcome back to my channel. The year is at a close, we are in the last 2 months of 2024, and so of course, most of us, including myself, are going to be very ambitious this month. I am doubting I'll finish all these books, but here we are. Optimism is the key to success. Not really. I guess doing it is successful. Optimism isn't going to help me at all. There's a few things I'm going to be doing for the month of November. For one, I'm going to be participating in 2 different readathons. So one of them is going to be continuing the Tomes and Treasures readathon. I believe this is like a bingo board kind of thing. I am going to be doing one line, and that is the second top row down. So I'm going to be doing that row for this readathon, and this readathon is done by the Creepy Geek, who is the host, and Ashley's Bookish Life, who is the co-host. I did this a few months ago for like the first part, and I'm really excited to be continuing it because I like this readathon. It's a lot of fun. This is a Dungeons and Dragons inspired readathon, very similar to my own, so if you are someone that likes that kind of thing, definitely recommend checking this out. I will link both of them down below, as well as their announcement video or like their most recent video, whatever one I decide to do. And then I'm also going to be doing the Jurassic Park readathon. This is going to be a exclusively Discord readathon. There's no videos or anything, but this is on Discord. This is hosted by Little Old Megan. I'm pretty sure that they were from my Discord and they decided to like show that they had this readathon going on, and so I obviously want to support my other people from my Discord and other readathons, so I'm happily going to join this. And I love dinosaurs. I grew up on the original Jurassic Park movies. I haven't watched the new movies and I haven't read the book, but I do love the original movies. I watched those like crazy when I was younger and got terrified by them, mind you. And so of course I want to do this readathon. I want to become a paleontologist and have my own Jurassic Park and open, to the public and have a bunch of animals and dinosaurs probably escape. So those are the 2 readathons I'm going to be doing in November. I will talk about what prompts are as I tell you the books because I'm doing like 3 different things and I don't want it to be too confusing. I'm also going to be doing my readathon in December, so halfway through November you should see an announcement for that. After December though, there's going to be like 6 months without my readathon. I am so glad that it's going to be over, or at least pausing, because I'm so tired and so burned out from my own readathon. But I'm happy to actually be doing it. I'm having a good time and a lot of people seem to be enjoying it. I don't think I'm going to be doing my next critter. I was supposed to release it before the end of the month. I haven't been doing great mentally, so I think I'm just going to not do it. I apologize. I know I was going to, but I just haven't been able to do it. I had the concept done. I had like a little bit of it sketched out, but I just don't think I had the mental capacity to do it. So apologies, I won't be able to do that by the end of the month. But I do have a critter idea for December or November, so you can look up for those if you are interested. So December is my next chapter, but like I said, you have 6 months after that to just relax and catch up. Thank goodness, because I really need to do that. So after all that, let me get on to the most exciting part, at least for me, okay? I spent hours one morning doing my own board game kind of thing, I guess you can say. And this is just a TBR board game. I might just literally name this the TBR board game because everyone has these types of things already and I'm not unique. So there's no point in me acting like it's like a new thing, right? Like naming it something unique. No, I'm just gonna name it the default TBR game. I will eventually put the title on the blank part, but for now let me just show it to you. This is very small, but it works and it's so cute. I love it so much. I spent an entire morning doing this. A lot of the graphics on here are ones that I found online and I referenced, so I did not draw them off the top of my brain. I'm not that good at drawing. This is what it looks like. Obviously you will see more of it when I'm rolling the dice. I will not explain every single tile to you because I feel like that's monotonous. If I land on it, then I will tell you about it. But essentially I go around the board. I usually start in, what corner do I usually start in? I usually start here. So I start on this series and then I go this way. If I roll something that's high on this area, I can either take this route or I could take this route. I read a lot of illustrated, but I don't read a lot of sci-fi, mystery, and thriller or horrors. So I wanted to have that in a spot that I can like skip over if I have to, but I also have it there in case I want to get to it. Obviously I have romance twice because I love romance, and I have fantasy twice because I love fantasy, my favorite genres. These are a lot of things I have already done. My Sims TBR videos, I liked doing them. I feel like this is a lot better. I don't know. I might go back to that one day, but for now I'm just gonna go onto a TBR board game. It's a lot easier for me and I just think it's more fun. For now, at least in my opinion. We still have unwrapping, so we still have unwrapped books. We have scratch off cards, which are up there. We have TBR jar, we have series continuation, and then we have all of these things in the between. So I will let you know what those are when I land on them because I don't want to talk too long. So yes, this is my little board game, and I'll probably just put the name in the middle, my TBR board game, because that's all it is. There's no unique name for it. It's just a TBR board game, okay? With all that being said, I'm pretty sure I can actually talk about the books I want to read this month. Thankfully. So I'm actually going to go to my board game. I'm going to roll the dice first, and then I'm going to show you the book, and then show you what other prompts for the other readathons will be able to qualify for this book. So let's go and start with the first roll. All right, let's see what the first roll is going to be. A 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Romance. Easy peasy. Okay, so my first roll was very nice to me. I got Kindle Limited last month, and so I think this is like the perfect opportunity for me to actually continue my romance reads because I really need to get to my KU books, and most of them are romance. So for romance, I feel like this is going to be very easy for me. There is one book though that I've been dying to read. I have been wanting to read this for so long now. I think it's been like it's only been about a month or two that's been out, but I have been like wanting to get to this for so long. It was supposed to come out in June. It kind of got pushed back a little bit. This is going to be Pucking Sweet by Emily Rath. This is the third book in the Jacksonville Rays series so far. I think there's going to be 5 books, but there's currently only 3 out, and I am so excited about this book. I am looking forward to reading it because I've been wanting to read it for a while. This is following 3 different characters, so this is a polyamorous relationship between Poppy, Colton, Lucas. I actually remember their names. Wow. I have started the book because it's 600 and something pages. I did start it like 3 days early just to kind of get myself a head start. As you can probably see, it's a hockey romance, and like I said, it's a polyamorous relationship between 3 characters, and I love Emily Rath's books. I adore them so much, so I'm really looking forward to getting to this finally because I've been anticipating it for a while now. For the Tomes and Treasures Readathon, there is, for my bingo card, I have to get to a book that has my favorite romance trope. And this one has a few favorite romance tropes. For 1, there's polyamory, which I love to see in my books. And for 2, there is a pregnancy trope in this book, which I know some people don't like. Completely fine if you don't like that, but I personally do enjoy it. If it's done well, I think a lot of the time it's not. But I do trust Emily Rath to do this properly. I'm hoping at least. I'm pretty sure it only takes up until like the 80% mark or more that it actually ends up happening. But yeah, this was actually teased in the 2nd book, and so I'm looking forward to actually getting into it in the 3rd book. There's some tropes in this I really enjoy, but if you don't like unplanned pregnancies, do not pick up this book. Definitely not. I wouldn't recommend it. For the Jurassic Park readathon, of course, I had to get this prompt because I need to get myself a dodo. So I did the prompt for 2-word title, which like I said, is for the dodo. I love dodos so much. And if you didn't know, dodos are actually not extinct until the 1600s. And that makes me very upset because they are only extinct due to human neglect, over hunting, etc. So these adorable little chicken turkey things would have been alive with us today if it weren't for humans. Humans are annoying. They make a lot of animals extinct, and I will never forgive them for this. Get to the 2nd roll in the 2nd book. Right, 2nd roll. A 6. I am going to go this way and go to BIPOC. For my 2nd roll, I got BIPOC author. For this one, I'm a little bit ashamed to admit what this book is going to be because I've had this on, I think, at least 3 different TBRs, and I don't know if I'm going to be getting to it. I don't want to lie and say I'm definitely getting to it, but I'm really bad with getting to my books this year. I've been kind of slumpy on and off. My depression has been kicking my butt for months now, so I'm just trying my best to get to these books if I can. But I really want to get to this book. I have the intention to, so I'm going to try my best to do that. And that book is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. Like I said, you've probably seen this a few times. This is written by an Indigenous author, and I've been wanting to get to this so badly. I don't think I've read from Stephen Graham Jones. I know that some people really like his writing and some people really don't like it, so this will definitely be a testament to see if I actually do enjoy his work or not, but I am looking forward to trying it. I don't know much about it because I know it's like a thriller, and I don't like to know much about thrillers when I go into them, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with like culture, maybe some mythology aspects, blending classic horror and dramatic narrative with a sharp social commentary. Honestly, that's all I really need to know. I'm going into this pretty blind otherwise, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to this. I do want to try to get to it though. This is a physical book I have like owned, which I don't read very often, so that's another reason for me to read this. For the Tomes and Treasures readathon, you have to read a book that is a horror book or a book that scares you. I'm going to classify this as a horror. I think it's like a thriller horror. But for the Jurassic Park readathon, there is going to be a prompt for the in the title, which is very easy for me because I have a lot of books on this list that have the in the title. And then the animal for this is the thylacine. This one is also a very, very sad one to talk about. Another one that became extinct due to humans. And I think this one only became extinct in like the maybe not 1960s. But it hasn't been that long. There's even like pictures and a video, so it's not that long ago. The video is like so sad because it's like calling out and there's nothing alive anymore. It's the last one on Earth. It's very sad. Like I said, humans have made so many animals extinct, and this is probably one of the most recent that I'm aware of, so it's really sad. I have a lot of mammals on my list, and I didn't mean for that to happen, but I'm not mad about it. Okay, so let me move on to my 3rd roll. All right, 3rd roll. A 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh boy. Unwrap. So for my 3rd roll, don't get mad at me for this. I did get unwrap, but I do want to make this an entire different video. So like I said, don't cover me. I usually unwrap these on my actual video itself, but I wanted to make a video out of it because I just feel like that makes more sense. I wanted to do a video project for unwrapping my books, and so I'm going to probably just do that myself instead of unwrapping it for my TBR video. So like I said, don't come at me, all right? I need content. I don't have much content right now. With the Tomes and Treasures Readathon, you have the read a book. Either you can get TBR jar, you can do a number generator, etc. So I just did one where I pick a book and I unwrap it on my shelf. So it's kind of similar in that vein of like a game where you don't know what you're going to be choosing. So hopefully this does count for that, and it should. And for the Jurassic Park Readathon, this will fulfill a book that you've been avoiding prompt, because this one has definitely been one I've been avoiding. I think I actually unwrapped this or had it on my TBR once and I just didn't read it. I'm a little bit nervous, to say the least. For that prompt, you get the Gallimimus, and I'm pretty sure that's just like the herbivore that like goes in herds. I might be wrong. They're fine. I don't love them, but they're fine. And I can have an animal that has like a herd kind of thing where they stay together as a group. And I think that's good to have at least one attraction like that in a park. There are so many scenes in Jurassic Park I remember with them like running with a Gallimimus, like running alongside them. I'm pretty sure that was them. I might be wrong, but that's like an iconic scene in my head. So apologies that you won't be able to see what book that was, but let's move on to my 4th roll out of 5. 4th roll. A 5. 1, 2. So either a book under 400 pages or a fantasy book. You know what? I think I'm gonna go fantasy with this one. So for my 4th roll, I got a fantasy book, which is great because I have a few fantasy books I want to be getting to for November and especially December, but let's just talk about that another time. It's not even December yet, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. For fantasy, I'm going to be reading a book that I am so excited about and I am just over the moon about. I actually was emailed by the publisher, I think, on NetGalley to read this book, or at least, you know, like give it a try. And I was planning on reading this anyway, so I've just been so excited about this. NetGalley is a place where you can get electronic ARCs or advanced reader copies. So essentially it's a place where people or authors can give readers the books early to review and give like honest reviews. So that way when people go to pick it up, there's already reviews on it before, you know, it publishes. This book is going to be released on January 7th. I only got kind of a head start to make sure I actually finish it in time. And this is Breath of the Dragon. This is written by Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee. Fonda Lee is the author of the Jade City Legacy, which is one I read, I think it was last year I read. I really enjoyed it. The only reason why I didn't love it is because it was urban fantasy and I'm not a huge urban fantasy fan, but this one, as you can probably tell by the cover of it, is a high fantasy. For the Tomes and Treasures Readathon, I have to read a book with the moon, stars, whatever in the cover, and I'm pretty sure that the background is like a blood moon or a red moon, so I think this one does count. And because it's written by a BIPOC author, I'm also going to be fulfilling this for the Jurassic Park Readathon, and this is to get a mammoth, which is, we all know what a mammoth is, Ice Age and all that, you know, we know what mammoths are. Another really cool thing is that Shannon Lee is actually the daughter, and I think the only child, of Bruce Lee. Now the reason why this is important is because this book is actually based off of characters and the teachings of Bruce Lee. So it has a very heavily influence on martial arts. So Fonda Lee herself actually was able to write this alongside Shannon Lee, the daughter of Bruce Lee, and I find that to be so cool. I feel like the martial arts scenes, the action scenes are going to be so well done in this book. This is going to be a YA duology, so it's going to be 2 books total, and obviously, like I said, this is coming out on January 7th. This is following a male protagonist. He is 16 years old, and he wants to take part in the Guardians tournament, which is something that happens every 6 years, and I believe that the winner gets the Scroll of Earth, which is a new protector for the scroll, and so this is a really big prize. I don't really know what it does or anything like that, but I'm assuming it's a pretty big deal. So Jun actually competes in this, and obviously, as you can imagine, there's going to be a tournament aspect. We have tournaments, we have dragons, we have martial arts. I'm so excited about this. So let me move on from there and stop talking too much about that book, and let's go on to the 5th and final roll for my board game. There's a few more books after this, but for my own game, there's only one more roll. So let's go on to the 5th and final one. And the 5th and final roll is a 1. Perfect. Continue a series. So my final roll for my own board game was to continue a series, which is great for me. I want to do something different. Usually I wait months and months and months, like 5, 6+ months, to continue a series, but this one I actually decided to not wait too long. I think I read the first book in this series or trilogy in September, and so I'm going to be continuing it for November, so don't forget too much. And that being the second book in the Belladonna series, Foxglove by Adeline Grace. I'm going to be completely honest with all of you. I know a lot of you were excited for me to read Belladonna, and I am still pretty excited about getting into the series, but the problem is I didn't love Belladonna. The romance, I liked the romance in the beginning, didn't love it at the end, and the mystery aspect was interesting, but like, I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I was expecting to. It wasn't like a favorite for me. It was only like a 3 stars, but I want to continue the series or the trilogy and get to the second book because I just want to give it I just want to try, you know, I want to give it a little bit more of a shot. I think that this one has been kind of, I don't know, I feel like I've heard mixed reviews about this one. I heard people love Belladonna, not so much this one, which makes me a little nervous, but I'm going to try it. If I don't like this at all, I'm going to probably not read the third book, but I do want to try my best to actually get through this book and finish it and try to finish the trilogy because I want to get into it. I want to like it, so I'm going to try my best to do that. This follows Signa. She is a character who's unable to die. She gets in situations, accidentally or on purpose, where she ends up dying, and every single time this happens, she's able to see death. And there's a little bit of something between them, all right? But as this is happening, there's also a mystery aspect of trying to figure out what is happening. Someone is sick and people are dying and she's wondering what's happening, and she has to go into this manor and kind of discover what's happening in the first book. This one is obviously the second book, so it follows what happens after that, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens next. I already kind of forget stuff that happened in the first book, which is not great. I've only read it 2 months ago. I know a lot of people love the first book and this trilogy, and I'm just hoping I will like it. My fingers are crossed, okay? I'm hoping I will enjoy this as much as I can. For the Jurassic Park readathon, I have to do one of the mandatory prompts, which is going to be the paleontologist one, where I have to make sure I actually get my tools and get ready to get, you know, excavation. So for that one, I have to read a popular book, and I'm going to count this trilogy as a whole as a very popular series / book. Okay, so from this point forward, I'm going to kind of fly through most of these books because I think a lot of them are repeats of October books I never got to, embarrassingly enough. So let's just get through these really quickly. One of them, though, is not going to be a repeat. This is actually one I'm planning on reading mostly in December, but I wanted to mention it anyway because it's going to be finishing off the row for the Thompson Treasures readathon. So for this one, I have to read a book with a weapon on the cover. For this one, I'm actually going to be doing the book for Becca's Catch-Up Book Club, and she's going to be doing the John Gwynne books, and so I'm going to be reading Malice for December, so I'm going to be counting this for weapon on the cover. I'm probably not going to be starting this until the end of November or early December, so I'm just counting this just to show you that this one is going to be completed. This row is now complete and it's done. Now we get into the books of shame, because most of these, except for one of them, are actually going to be ones from October or even later than that, because there's one book that I'm looking at currently that's been on TBRs more than 3 times. This does work for the Jurassic Park readathon. I had to read a book with a map, and this is the only book on my entire TBR for November that has a map, so thank goodness I didn't read it because I actually needed this. And that is, what's the point of even saying the name of it anymore? You should know this already. The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. I am putting it off, but also I just haven't gotten to it. I haven't been reading as much as I want to be reading, so I just have been slacking. But yeah, I don't have the dust jacket on it because I'm trying to read it. Like, I've been wanting to read it. There's a bookmark in it. I have my Cruel Prince bookmark in it. Like, it's ready, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Embarrassing. This is the second book in the Stolen Era duology. I also found out that supposedly there's going to be another, I don't know if it's going to be a series, standalone, I don't know, but in this world, and it's Cardin's point of view. And if that's true, supposedly there was like a, you know, a Q&A thing with Holly Black, and she mentioned that. If that's true, you might not see me survive the next year, so I'm just letting you know that if I don't survive, it might be because of Holly Black. This one I'm supposed to be reading. I was supposed to read this a long time ago, so yeah. The next book is actually not my fault that I didn't read it. This one literally just came from my library yesterday from my hold. I waited about a month and a half to get to this, so I finally got to it, and I'm very excited about it because, like I said, the cover is so cute and I just want to get to this so badly. This one is also a mandatory prompt for a book with transportation on the cover. I completed all 3 paleontologist prompts for that, and that is Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. I mentioned this last month, of course, on my October TBR, and I didn't read it yet because, like I said, I just got this on hold yesterday. There's a train in the back. You can't see it very well, but there's a mode of transportation. It's about a boy who wants to get a girl jealous, so he fake dates the main character, and obviously they start to have feelings for one another, and he also has her join his D&D group. Look at the back. Look at the back. It's so cute. The chapter headings are all like D&D kind of ones. Look, there's a D20, a D6, and a D8. Like, look how cute that is. I should fly through this, and I'm looking forward to something that's really quick and easy between my bigger books because I have a few 600+ page books, so it's nice to have a little tiny book on this list. The next one is actually not even embarrassing, it's just criminal at this point. This is one I have had on so many TBRs. I'm not even going to talk about it. Firestarter by Stephen King. I've been wanting to read 5 Stephen King's books this year. I haven't read one. I've been wanting to read this, I think, since like February, something around that time. I've had it on at least 3 TBRs. I haven't gotten to it. I'm not going to say I'm going to read it in November because I have so many books on this list. I'm not going to get to this book, but I have it on here intending to get to it. father and daughter. The daughter can move things with her mind, and shenanigans ensue. And that's all you have to really know about Firestarter, because that's all I really know about it. Now moving on to my last novel. I have a few manga I want to get to, but for my novel, for the last one for that, I have one more book to talk about. The only reason why I'm reading this is because for my readathon, my character wants to be a scribe as a career. He has two jobs. He has a part-time job and a full-time job, and this is his full-time job. He wants to be a scribe. To be a scribe, you have to read a book about books, and the only one I really knew about that I really wanted to get to for a while now is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This one has a cat on the cover. It's so cute and tiny, but that is a good thing for the Jurassic Park readathon because there's a prompt to read a book with a cat on the cover, and if you read a book with a cat on the cover, you get the saber-toothed tiger, and I love saber-toothed tigers. I am so excited to be getting one of these because I love them so much. They're so cute. They're so cute. There's big, scary cats, and I would never mess with one, but they're cute. A baby one would be adorable with their little teeth. But yes, this is a book about books. It has a lot of heavy topics. I feel like this is going to hit really close to home with me because of the content matter in it. Nora is the main character in this book, and she experiences something in her life that has her go through this library and multiple different kinds of books, see things that she regrets, things that she would have changed, so on and so forth. And I know that there are heavy topics within this book, so obviously, if you are sensitive to anything, be mindful. There is one thing that in my life that I am very easily triggered by. It only has to be very detailed. I don't think it's very detailed in this book. If it is, I will skim it, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. I don't mind like mention of it. I don't mind it on page if it's not heavily detailed, like I said, but I will try my best to be careful with this book. That being said, I think this is going to hit really close to home with me. I'm hoping I will love it because I've heard really good things about it when it first came out. So I'm very much hoping I will like this book. This is also, I think, around 300 pages. Yeah, it's like a little under 300 pages. So it's another really small, perfect book for me to get through in a few days. So those are the 8 books I plan on reading for November. I still have manga left, so if you're interested in manga, you can keep watching. If you're not, you can skip this. I still have 2 prompts for the Jurassic Park readathon that I wanted to complete. You have to read a manga. For this one, you get a Compsognathus. I think are those, oh my gosh, I have flashbacks. They are like the little green guys. I remember the Jurassic Park movies. One of the most scarring parts in the Jurassic Park original movies was when these things were like going down the river and eating that guy, and then you see like the blood going down the river. I hated that part when I was a kid. And then for the other prompt, it's a quick read, which is I'm going to be using for manga, of course, and to get this, it's a Velociraptor. I also forgot to mention that Pucking Around also fulfilled the prompt for a top of my TBR, and that one is the T-Rex or the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is another iconic, one of my favorite dinosaurs growing up. But for the manga that I'm going to be reading to fulfill the 2 prompts I already mentioned, I'm going to be continuing the Black Butler series. I am currently on volume 12, but obviously I have the other 2 volumes here with me right now from my library. I'm currently on the ship arc where they're all in the ship and messed up things are happening. I cliffhangered myself and I really want to see what happens next. Also, The Undertaker is on this edition and I'm really interested in him. I wonder why I'm interested in him. I'm a very easy simp, okay? The other 2 manga series I'm planning on continuing are 2 different ones entirely. One of them is Berserk. I'm on volume 14 of Berserk. I just finished the Golden Age arc. Yeah, it was hard. It was rough. I haven't continued it because I just haven't been able to emotionally and mentally, but I finally finished the Golden Age arc and now we are on the current present day of Guts. And let's just say it's a lot. It's a lot. That last volume was so difficult to read. I hated it, but I also loved it at the same time because I loved the books. But God, the content matter is so hard to get through sometimes. I despise it, but it's so well done at the same time. And then, of course, we also have Attack on Titan. I am on volume 13. I feel like I should be reading this for Creeps and Geeks because she loves Attack on Titan, so I feel like I should be, continuing the manga series. To be fair, I am watching the anime first because I feel like the anime does a better job at kind of describing what's happening. I find like in the manga, it's harder for me to keep track of what's going on. I also feel like the anime paces everything out a little bit better. That's just my own opinion, obviously, but I am reading the manga kind of alongside the show and I am loving the show. My boyfriend and I are watching it together. He already knows what happens. He's read the entire manga series and so he's like loving my reactions and my theories and wondering what's going to happen next, and it's just like it's so crazy. I am on a very big cliffhanger in Attack on Titan right now, but I am on volume 13. In regards to the anime, I'm on volume 16. Attack on Titan is also becoming one of my favorite anime of all time. It's so so good. It's so well done. There's so many good twists and turns. There's so many good things to theorize. It's just so amazingly done. Like I said, I've heard mixed things about the ending, but I still am enjoying my time getting to that point. So this is all the books I plan on getting to. So these are all of them. Obviously, I won't get to all the manga. It's just kind of ones I might be able to get to. I will definitely get to some of Black Butler. I usually read about 2 to 5 volumes of manga a month, so I won't get to all of them, but I will get to at least a handful of them. Like I said, I probably won't be able to finish all of the books on this list. You might see some of them in December. Honestly, I'm not surprised if that happens. I am currently reading Conjuring of Light. I think I'm almost halfway through that. I should be almost done it, so I still have some books coming into December. That being said, I am having a good time, and I'm just not gonna rush myself, not push myself too much, because I need to take care of my mental before I take care of anything else. Other than the Magical Readathon, I plan on doing my own board game every month otherwise. As long as it's not my readathon, and as long as it's not the Magical Readathon. I don't want to do any big readathons with my board at the same time. That's too much work, but I want to incorporate it as much as I can. So you should be able to see my new board game in January, because December is my chapter readathon where I make rolls that will determine different books I get. So I'm excited for that too. A little bit nervous. I see my dice will be nice to me, but I am looking forward to seeing how that's going to play out. I'm going to end the video off here. Thank you so much for watching, and all the support and all the kindness of everyone who has been participating in my readathon, or just like watching my videos or commenting. I just appreciate you all so much. So thank you so much for being here and watching my stuff. And you know, there's so many other booktubers who are amazing, so I feel really honored to have some people watching mine. So thank you. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Hope your reads for November are amazing and you get all those final books for the year done, because I think a lot of us are trying to get all that finished and get to our reading goals and get to the books we want to get to, finish series, all that kind of fun stuff. So hopefully you will be able to do that, and I'm wishing you the best of luck because I definitely need it too. Have a great day, have a great reading month of November, and hope to see you all soon. Goodbye everyone.